19 months ago, Kura was launched. You might be wondering, what does Kura mean? Kura is a Kinyarwanda word that means to grow. It is an initiative by the Mastercard Foundation aligned with its Young Africa Work strategy, a strategy to enable 30 million young people in Africa, especially young women, to secure employment they see as dignified and fulfilling. Kura was created to make sure that young people have access to all essential information that they need to succeed. Our mission was, and still is, to empower young people into dignified and fulfilling work. We knew that it all began within. For young people to believe that they could, we had to show them who did.
My message to that little girl out there is,
don't let your background determine your future.
We are few women in this industry and we want more women.
Mu gutekereza icyo nk'urubyiruko dushobora gukorera igihugu cyacu mbere yuko dutekereza iki gihugu cyadukorera.
Work hard, strive, believe in yourself. That's very important. Believe in your dream and believe in yourself, and trust me, opportunity will find you. And if you do what you love, you eventually will grow.
It is not just about empowering, it is also about informing.
My name is Kwizera Solange. I work at One Acre Fund as a senior service desk technician.
We needed to make sure that young people can easily be aware of the diverse opportunities out there for them.
I was inspired with my brothers because they were always saying that girls are not good in tech, so I wanted to prove them wrong. Some of the challenges I faced are like I was only a girl in the whole class, which was like boring. I got bored because they are men boys. I also wanted to improve my communication skills. Then I did my research. That's when I found Kura advertising this opportunity of learning English. That's how I joined. It has benefited me because now I can communicate clearly. I have got communication skills, not only about English, but even even how to communicate in general. I think it's great for young people to access information easily because it is beneficial for our personal life and professional life.
We are not just here to tell your stories and create awareness of opportunities. We are here to ensure you become the best version of yourself. That is our Kura journey. We are just getting started.
Thank you guys for being here today. So I want you guys, I said I wouldn't spoil it, so I want you guys to introduce yourselves for our audience and basically tell us what you do and what is special about it.
Hello everyone, my name is Patrick Africa, not as a continent, Africa. So I'm the CEO and founder of Afrolago, so you may be wondering what is Afrolago or maybe you know about it. But we are a company that is based in making and producing leather products. We do bags, we do shoes, we do wallets, belts, and all different products in leather. So we started back in 2020. I was one and my brother were two people. So what is amazing about our company is when we started, I learned this from my dad. He taught me how to make shoes and stuff. So I grew up in that rhythm of making the shoes and stuff. So back in days, I used to sell my product to the headmasters. He used to give me the permission back to school just to make something for me. So for empowering the people, also having the impact to the society, we just made a plan how we can introduce the people with disability within our company. So we train them. Some of them we train like 10 people for now, and 2 of them they are in our companies. So that's the thing that we need to the society.
Hello everyone, my name is Shan Mubuni. I am a creative entrepreneur. I have a business called Glow Force, which I started a couple of years ago. It is a hair care and skincare business. We manufacture those products here in Rwanda, and it's powered by plants. We are a plant-based company. I also create content as well, which is where the creativity and creative entrepreneur comes from. So far, Glow Force has served over 6,000 customers. We have thank you. We've gotten a lot of good feedback from it, and from what our customers have shared with us, we continuously positively impact themselves, their skin, their hair, and yeah, I think that's how we're doing a good job.
Hi everyone, I'm the non-young person on the panel, according to some people who are in the audience. My name is Dominique Ouasse Alonga. I am the CEO and founder of Imagine We. It's Rwanda's leading publishing house, so if you see books around, we're producing the books. We tell the African story in positive ways. So we just believe that we are the ones who are supposed to tell our own stories in the ways that are inspiring. So if you kind of have seen, the Wakanda movement, I don't know how many people have seen Black Panther, those are the kind of stories that we believe can inspire children. So we've started creating books, creating tools for education, and it's been 9 years since we started, and it's been very exciting. I just also want to say, are you wearing your own shoes? Yes, guys, look at these beautiful shoes, please. That he made them. And then Cheyenne here has 124,000 subscribers on YouTube in Rwanda. So I just feel like they were very humble, both of them, in talking about themselves. I just wanted to make sure that their light is shining bright.
Thank you so much, Dominique. Still on you, not everybody, some of the people that I know, not everyone grows up saying, oh, you know what, I'm gonna be making books. Maybe some say that, I wanna write books, or I love reading books, but not everybody is like, I actually want to have a publishing house in Rwanda. So my question is, what inspired you to actually start Imagine? Because I think it's a wonderful story to me because I've heard it before, but I want our audience to actually get, why did you start Imagine?
Right. You are here making me repeat myself. How do I start? If I really start from really young age, one of the biggest relationship that I have in my life is with my mom. Shout out to moms. And yay! If I talk too much, you will start understanding my age, but I will do it. So anyway, we were more or less escaped both the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi and then the instability in Congo. So one thing when we were in the middle of running around, which I have no memory of, my mom used a lot of storytelling. She would tell us stories. We're going on vacation to more or less protect us from what was really happening. And she really made sure that we had a positive outlook on life. And then we came to Rwanda, and she kept doing the same thing. She really made sure, in Centre Culturel Français, anyone Hafi, kuri Milcolina. You see my age mates, I can see this. You know, she used to drop us off in town to read books. She always made sure, and then at night she would make sure that she was reading books to us before we went to bed. So storytelling was very prevalent in our home, and you know, we really read a lot. And then anyway, I leave and go to university. I come back to Rwanda, and there's this massive movement of young people building Rwanda. This was really an inspiring movement. So in this movement, people I really always thank. In this movement, the movement was started with people like Ilum, people like Uzuri KNY. If you recognize a brand, just give them snaps wherever they are, right? We had House of Tayo, we had Sonia Mugabo, we had, so all these Otbaso, we had all these people who were like, oh my God, we need to do something, we need to do something, right? In different fields, we had creative entrepreneurs like Makeda. Everyone was contributing something, right, at the time. And I thought to myself, look, like, okay, maybe I should also probably contribute. I thought the original idea was for Imagine We to provide books to schools, and kids that were reading really fast and really well, we would give them mutuelle de santé. It was really a simple idea. We would get books from the US, from Canada, from wherever, and then donate them to schools. And even from Rwanda, we thought, you know, people would give us books. So we started telling people, bring us books, and they brought us so there were no books in Rwanda. And then I posted a video actually on YouTube and said, hey, you know guys, I'm from Rwanda, Kigali, and we don't have books. Could you please give us some books? And we had a school in the US who was like, we're gonna be a pickup point. And we said in the video, if you have books to donate, could you go to this school? This is the address. By the end of that month, we had about, I think, 10,000 books. And yeah, this is just when the story starts going downhill. Anyway, we bring the books to Rwanda, and we donated books to 27 schools in Rwanda, all over Rwanda, which is great. We've served 25,000 children. And then we had a library at our office. And hey, kids are very honest. Kids were like, hey, what is this? What is snow? What is, you know, they started just throwing the books away. So the whole project was destroyed, right? So they were like, we are not gonna read these books. And we decided, let's release one single book that's Rwandan and that kids will love. And that's how All Rwandan Child was released. The book has been sold to over 10,000 places, and that was the most Rwandan book. All the characters in the books are real people. We used to invite whoever was in the book. We had the pilot, Esther. We have Diane, Teta Diane, who was a singer at the time. We had, you know, football players, any careers really. And there was Peace Kwizera, who had just won second runner-up, and she partnered with us and she authored the book. We took it all over the country, and of course then we started getting inspired. How can we release the second one? Let's start with 10th, 20th, 30th, and now we became a publishing house. So I didn't start out really wanting to own a publishing house, but we listened to the children. We listened to the community. We used to serve children whose parents were fruit vendors and MTN agents, and they told us the truth, you know, and they said, we don't look like this, like we can't be heroes, we can't be princesses. And I was like, no, yes we can. And that's kind of what inspired me and my team to say, what can we do to make sure that these kids feel like they can be heroes and princesses and whatever it is that they want to become, because representation matters. So that's the story.
Representation matters. I really like that sentence. Now to share. I have, let me see if I remember. I have followed Cheyenne's YouTube channel, I think, since 2019, like ever since we launched that channel, because to me it was very unusual in Rwanda to see somebody going out there giving tips about this and this and this, talking to young women. It was something very unusual, and I was like, you know what, I gotta subscribe. And ever since then, I've been a fan. This is like a fun moment for me. So my question to you is, what inspired you to actually become a creative entrepreneur? What inspired you to tap into an industry in Rwanda that was not really trending, that was not something a lot of people do?
Thank you for your question. I, for one, as a child, I can say that I didn't like being put in a box. And I feel like a lot of us can resonate here. Like, I really didn't enjoy, like, for example, in school, it's like if you were a girl, you were expected to be super girly and not play sports and things like that. But I liked sports as well. So I would really get annoyed when I wasn't allowed to like join like the boys football team or things of that nature. So I've always been resistant in that way to being put in a box. And so when I realized that I really enjoyed doing something like creating content, I understood that it wasn't something that was usual, and everyone who I was watching at the time was foreign. And I was like, okay, maybe the same way I follow these foreign people, maybe there is a gap that I can bridge between them and my community. So I said, because I enjoy it, let me try and do this and see what comes of it. And at first, obviously, people thought it was weird. Nobody was trying to subscribe to my channel. They were like, why does she have to do her hair and film it? Like, it didn't make sense to them. Some people thought that it was, just because it wasn't trending. Obviously now everybody does it. Even if you're not necessarily a content creator, sometimes you just film yourself doing those things. But yeah, I understood that not everybody would get it, but I also understood those who didn't get it were not my target audience. My target audience were people who understood what I was doing. And luckily those people found me, and luckily the industry that I was in sort of was brought to the forefront, and things to do with content creation and visual storytelling became the norm. And so I was really blessed to be in that position that I was in, and I've continued to get a lot of support from people now, and people can finally see what I was saying. But yeah, that's what encouraged me, was the fact that I had a passion for it, and I understood that for something like a passion, not everybody has to believe in you for you to actually do it. And if you just keep on, if you double down on something that you believe in, eventually you're going to inspire someone. And someone who was maybe afraid to do it themselves, you inspire them to do it, and then you find yourself that you've created something bigger than yourself, which is what I think I'm seeing a lot now. And I'm so happy to see more people who are creating content, telling Rwandan stories, just so that younger people can also be inspired, and know that the possibilities for jobs and the possibilities for creativity are endless. And just because we come from a certain place it goes beyond borders, what you can do. Yeah.
Thank you, Sharon. I think the similarity between your story and Dominique's story, apart from representation matters, it's also, being bold. Because when Dominique started giving out books or telling people, we have this initiative, she said, we really didn't know it was gonna work. And same thing, you started, a channel because you were passionate about it. Of course, there were people who, I'm just gonna say haters, who, who were really not supportive of that idea, but it did not stop you both from actually doing what you had in mind. And I really admire that, and I think it needs like an applause from the audience. Now on to Patrick. You told us that your dad taught you how to make the shoes and all of that. But to me, I want you to tell us the story, because it takes something from you to actually learning how to make shoes, building a company, employing people from marginalized communities. Like, it takes something extra to go from actually knowing how to make shoes to building a business and making it grow and having an impact within your community. Can you tell us what that extra thing is?
Okay, I learned that from my dad, and all I want to do was just jump in and do something that is good and the market will appreciate it. So the story really started when I was really young, because back in O-level, I used to make the shoes for my fellow students, so in order to get like extra money. Then when I finished high school, I wanted to be like a waiter. I just want normal job. Like everyone here, I don't know, sorry, but I want to do like normal job, get employed, get hired, and do something. So unfortunately, it didn't work. So I started to start my own company according to the skills that I had. So the aim was not just getting money. I'm not gonna say like I want to inspire people. Like, I just want to get something from it. So I started in 2020. We were two, I and my brother. So we started making shoes. We do promotion on our social media, creating an account, and also we just want to do something that is having an impact to the society. That's why it's coming with people with disabilities. So the idea came up when I was young. We used to train people with disability come to my dad's company, and I see them. I see how they are focusing on doing their work. So what was really amazing, I learned from that. I'd be like, okay, why can't I hire them and start to work for me? So it was not easy job to do. Even getting them wasn't that easy. For one people use their deaf, they cannot hear or do something. Just I give them a task. So one of the challenges I had was the communication. So I learned how to name the raw materials. So we have the connection name. Just I give them a task, and one thing about them is they work on time. So if I say like you have to leave at 2, so and there is some extra orders I have to make, then I'd be like, you can leave at 3. They'd be like, no, I'm leaving at 2. So they are street and they are good in doing the task given to them. So they can do as well as normal people. So that was really inspiring me, and also we had some trainings and different facilities like towards me. So they told us how to develop business way. So I used to learn that when we make money, it's our money. So there's no need of just making reports for someone else. How do you use the money or something else? So in those processes, that way we learn how to grow a business. Now we've been working for 4 years. Now I can tell you like there's a big change in growth. Even in what we have encouraging the people with disability through training and all stuff.
That's very inspiring. Back in 2022, when we went to visit Patrick at their workplace, we met with Ian. Was it Ian? Yeah, Ian. And he's one of the employees at Afrodago. And what inspired me about Ian's story was, it kind of shed the light on the unconscious
biases that we all have. We're like, oh, a person living with disabilities, or how are they working? How does that work? But then when we went to see Ian, he actually showed that you know, it's very normal. That there's nothing surprising about the fact that he can actually work. And that was my biggest takeaway. Like, we shouldn't be surprised to see those people do things, do incredible things. It should be something normal. It should be the standard. So I was really inspired by Ian's story. And Patrick, do you have another success story from Afolago? Something that really, like a success story that has really stayed with you, stayed in your mind, and that you would like to share with our audience?
Oh, well, thank you. I think this is also success. Like I'm here talking to, just empowering people for same age. Like I think one of success that we have made so far. When we started, we just don't really have like the location where it's a factory. So for now, we have different shops, and so we have shop in town, Chic. We have shop at Nyamilambo. We also ship the products abroad. So we also managed to grow from our employees. So we started, we are 2, now we are 8. So they are temporary, so some they work. So when you have many orders, there are some people who are just for that kind of orders just the future. So in general, we're like 20 people now. Yep.
That's a really good Kura journey, you know? It's a really good growth journey. Back to Sheyan, you spoke about how you were passionate to actually inspire other young people to take bold steps like you did. I was wondering, how has your career as a creative entrepreneur, but also as an entrepreneur, you told us about Glowforce, how has your journey impacted the community around you? The good thing about that question is that the answer is not something I need to guess, because when it comes to the work that we do at Glowforce, our company is very sensitive to customer feedback. And because we are an e-commerce business, everything is online, and even with communication, we work through social media, we get a lot of feedback all the time. And of course, whatever critiques that we get, we apply, and we use that to improve our product. And we're very lucky as well we're very lucky to have a lot of good feedback from people. And so I think not only does it, at first I was also like, are these people saying that the product is good because they know me, they want me to be happy, like they you know, sometimes you're unsure. But then when I look at the back end, our company has about like a 69% customer return rate. So that gave me confidence that our business is good, and people aren't just saying that, they're actually continuing to buy our product every month or every time it runs out. And so luckily, based off of that, based off the feedback that I've gotten, I'm happy to say that Glowforce is, or I'd confidently say that Glowforce is positively impacting the community. When it comes to content as well, the comment section is right there. People are going to tell you if they like it or if they don't. And of the people, I'm very lucky, once again, of the people who do consume my content, I find them to be very respectful and very kind. I know some creators have talked about how they can't open the comments. I post and I log off because I don't want to be bombarded with so much negativity. But luckily that is not my experience. A lot of people are very positive. They tell me like, you know, I liked your video. I couldn't wait to get back from school to watch your video, things like that, which makes me really happy. And some people will tell me like, you know, the sound was not good today, or you were moving the camera too much. And it's like, okay, next time I have to make sure I have the stabilization on, or, you know, I have a tripod or something like that. So it's mostly positive feedback that I get. And that makes me confident once again in continuing my journey and knowing that I am positively impacting my community.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Now, back to Dominique. I would like to ask all of you a question, because we've talked about growth, we've talked about beginning, you know, from zero to somewhere. We've talked about numbers, how you sold 10,000 copies, how you have so many subscribers, how you have opened many shops, but there has been challenges, and I think what most people don't really talk about when they are talking about their story, it's the downhill, it's the challenges that you face while on your journey, but challenges that you eventually manage to overcome. So, Dominique, can you tell us about some of the challenges that you have faced ever since Imagine We's inception in 2015? Something you feel like, oh, I feel like young people who want to venture into business, or even our audience here, this challenge, I face this challenge, and I feel like people should know about this and how to, if one day they face the same challenge, how to overcome it.
I mean, I think that's probably going to be like a really, like a long conversation that probably will take like 100 years to get over the challenges. But one of the main, so there's like operational challenges, right? Like, you know, are you hiring the right team? How are you inspiring the team to do the work with excellence, which is something that for me, I used to kind of expect my team to act the way that I do, right? Like, oh my gosh, like this is the excellence with which I'm responding to an email, like, why don't you just know? Whereas I started learning, you know, this has been your dream. You know, they don't owe you to like carry your dream on your back. And the challenge was now, how do I explain a dream to people? How do I make sure that they love the dream, they love the vision, they come to work happy? In 2019, yes, we won an international award for the best place to work for young people. It was really fun. And we have a lot of, we maintain a lot of relationships even when young people will be poached. And that was a challenge that we faced. You come, you train someone for 3 years, and then BK is like triple the salary, right? And so you have to start over. And that was something that we had to now learn. Instead of, you know, going to your mom's house and crying, we said, okay, how do we, you know, create a robust kind of training system that anytime someone is going out, we're able to smoothly bring someone in. And that was the first thing. Like, people will really challenge you, you know. But is it that the people are challenging you, or is it also that you're not explaining the vision well? You're not taking the time to even select the people. What are your standards? So for me, I really learned this the hard way. This was the most. And then the second one, which is less operational but more a little bit gender based. So I started this company, I was 22 years old, right? And, you know, I would look for partners. They would say, you know, maybe just get married, right? Like just look for someone, and like if you get pregnant, like all these very gender-specific issues that made them not want to believe in me. Or also like just the fact that maybe at the time I looked like I was 15 years old and they did not believe that I was serious. So I think these things young people face, right? So one thing I still use to this day, I communicate very, very well using email more than in person. And it opened a lot of doors for me. My name is Dominique Alonga. Sometimes I remove Boase if I don't want to. If I want to create some confusion, right? So people say, hey, hello, sir, and they think I'm like this very tall man. And I'm like, you know what, if that's what it takes for them to respond to my email, I will do it. So we try to make like maybe 80%, or at the time, 80% of the communication was email. So they think, you know, it's a man. And then I reached there. There was a time back, in, you know, before COVID, when we really were, you know, kind of struggling a bit. I had a guy on standby, and that's the reality of entrepreneurship for ladies, who was briefed every time, and then he would be Dominique in meetings. I wouldn't even get to enter the meetings, and he would come back up and say, this is what they said, and he would be me. And that was very sad at times, but it got the job done. I'm very grateful that now with the government's push for women's empowerment, we've been, you know, that's no longer as big as an issue. Any girl, any woman can really be really empowered to approach partners, and they will listen. MasterCard Foundation is one of the biggest listeners, the biggest partners that we've had, and really empowered us to even reach for more partners. We have so many people who, with the government's help, have made it possible for women to not need that guy. That guy no longer even talks to me. You know, his job is done, great, but it was a reality. I've had people sign on my behalf, and then I would just stamp. So the stamp was my signature. If it wasn't stamped, I would be like, I don't know that document. So we created ways to make sure that we don't lose partners. That was very hard. The third thing is mindset. There's an African saying that I really love that says, a cat that dreams to become a lion must lose its appetite for rats. And right? Africans be wanting to say things. So for me, I had a lot of appetite for rats in terms of like, I'm late, you know, like I want to be this big thing, but I'm always late. I want to be this big thing, but I take too long to respond. And then we have that, we have this random thing. You write someone's name, her name is Cheyenne, you don't Google how to spell it. I understand you don't know how to write it, but I Google to write it correct. You know, we have that mindset of bare minimum. And for me, I was like, for how long do I want to have a bare minimum mindset? And move, and those are the rats, you know. So I ask myself, what are the rats in my company? What are the rats in my life? And how can I lose my appetite for those rats to become the lioness that I want to become, you know? So I really hope that even inspires you, you know, in your daily work, in your work, you have an assignment to submit. How can you submit it well? Is everything well done? That spirit of excellence, we can start cultivating it now and move from, you know, so, Murakoze, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dominique. Cheyenne, would you also like to share with us some of the challenges that you've made along your journey? Challenges. Okay. I think to some degree it's fairly similar to Dominique in terms of when we speak on gender issues. Obviously it's improved significantly, and it's something that especially female entrepreneurs, they feel it, like you can genuinely feel a difference, but at the same time there's also people in these individual mindsets that sometimes tough to impact. And so, like, you know, just getting, on more than one occasion I would go somewhere to get a certification or receive a document, and they say, oh, we actually need the actual owner of the company, not Mukozi in the company. And they would be like, yeah, you can't stamp it, you can't sign it. I'm like, what? And it's difficult because I don't want to start arguing, right? Because I can't. But I choose peace. And I said, I have to tell them very slowly, like, it's me. No. Sure. Yes. Sign, stamp, you know. But I'm happy to say that it's much better now, and to the point where now also like I get, you know, people are happy to see that, and they say, you know, keep going, courage, and I'm like, okay, this is good. And also just more women coming into entrepreneurship in general. It's becoming a better experience to be a female entrepreneur. Other challenges obviously are just to do with the country we're in, the fact that it is landlocked, the fact that, you know, certain things are more expensive because of just simply our geographical location. I can imagine, as you were talking about the 10,000 books, I'm like, like, how much was that? Like, it's because this is something that we always have to think about as entrepreneurs. So yeah, those are simple challenges like that, but in the same breath, I think as hard as it is being an entrepreneur, it's easier to be an entrepreneur now than ever before in history. And so it's always, I encourage everyone like to try. Sometimes you try and you fail, but then you try again, right? So yeah, thank you so much. Patrick, would you also like to share some challenges?
Okay, for me it's quite different, but I have same similar thing just today. I remember one day when I was delivering, when I started, I used to do delivery by myself. So I reached to a place, I was like, okay. Then I give the delivery package to someone who ordered it. Then when I reached home, I was like, thank you, we received the package. I was like, no, I'm the one who delivered the package. So you're saying like, okay. But for challenges, we had, one was a way to communicate with those people with disability, which I figure out, just name different products, different designs. Just we use WhatsApp, we can chat, and we solved that. And other challenge was getting raw materials. Sometimes, even though we do made in Rwanda, so like 70% of raw materials come outside the country. So sometimes it's hard, sometimes getting the raw material that, sometimes you can make like an order of shoe that you want, but the material that already made it last year are no longer available on the market. So I came up with a solution. I just reached out to Kenya. Now I'm getting to the source where they get raw materials, so I just connect with them so they can deliver it to me before I get done. So that lead also to the quality of being you know, like our product, they're expensive, you know, like all the kind of stuff, because normally we get raw materials outside the country, so they come with tax and everything, so you came and found out that the product is really expensive to the, so I cannot serve everyone, so I have this type of clients, so not everyone can be included, I'm sorry for that, but yeah. You understand?
Yeah, you know, and then people ask me, why are your things so expensive, you know, stuff like that. But like Sharon said, your target audience is your target audience. The people who want to buy from you will buy from you. So I'm going to improvise a little bit before we continue with the sessions, because we had a lot of information to digest. And I would really like to invite the audience to ask a few questions. Like whoever has a question that they would like to ask, please do before we continue with the panel. So, does anybody have a question? I do lifestyle content. I started off doing beauty content, but then I realized I had a lot more to offer than just beauty content. So I started, you know, sharing my travels. I started, you know, just doing sit-down videos talking about, I have a series called Girl Talk, where I talk about just women's issues. People send me their dilemmas. People send me their dilemmas, and then I try my best to answer, tell them what I would do in that situation, and it's just, you know, trying to open, those Girl Talk videos sort of open this bigger discussions most of the time, and you find in the comments people have continued the conversation on, and it's a very nice thing. So I sort of branched out of beauty to do lifestyle content, and I do it because I enjoy it.
So one of the challenges I had was, even though I make shoes, I'm also a designer. So I might design some shoes, and I really like it, and I expect the feedback to be positive as well. So one of the things I do when I reach the market, so people don't like it. I'm going to do. So you put more effort on it, so you like it. So one of the solutions I came up was like understanding the people, so what they need. So you have to understand what people need, then you come up with a solution. Just not what you need, but just refer to the people's needs, and then you'll be able to make the perfect model or something else. That's on my part. Yes.
I think my advice would be, hi Alma. Alma was my neighbor as a child. Childhood neighbor, Kachi. My real life advice would be hire very, very slowly, however slow you can, right? So if you reach a point where you want to hire people, I don't know, a social media manager, communication, someone who runs around, blah, 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 I would say really take time to get to understand that person. Sometimes as younger entrepreneurs, we hire for character and develop skills, right? But find the balance between that. I still personally would advise hire for character, because character is harder to train than skill. You can teach someone to write a nice email. You cannot teach them to be nice. You really cannot, right? You can teach someone to, I don't know, to pick up this table, but you cannot teach them to be respectful. That's just, so hire for character, hire slowly. Sometimes even have your friends. We have a board, but sometimes have a friend be like, hey, I have 3 candidates. Could you do a Zoom interview with them just now? But your team is your business. And then come back and give them tools. When they say to you, hey, we like them. Now really invest in the tools. For me, one thing I learned, my blood is Imaginary, my company, right? You birthed it. You go to bed, you think about it, when you're driving, you look at something. When I was sitting here, I was like, oh wow, when we have a lot. The team is not like that. So how do you make sure that you have a Bluetooth connection to give them that? And it's training, and it's also patience. I used to be a very impatient leader, and I had to learn the hard way, calm down. You breathe this thing, you eat lunch, you're like, oh, maybe this color. You're always thinking your company. They're not. And they deserve to switch on at 8:30 or wherever the contract said. They also deserve to switch off. As a founder, I don't have that privilege to switch off, but it's also a privilege because I keep growing the company. I meet people, I see things, I see Cheyenne, and I'm like, oh, this is a quick, can we do a YouTube video together? They don't have that. They're like, we're wedding. So how do you create that Bluetooth connection? Is it monthly training? Is it meeting? So my advice, that's advice number 1. Advice number 2 is, I always say this to my people. Make sure that you meet people whose floor is your ceiling. Period, right? If you want to, you're in farming, you want to export 20 tons per month. Find the person who's doing that today, make them your mentor. Buy them coffee downstairs, brioche. Let them share, and also even meeting with them changes your lifestyle. If she has 24,000 subscribers, her goal could be, I want to sit with someone who has 5 million subscribers. How do they eat? By the way, it's that thing. How do we move from cat to lion? By small things, right? Our whole year production, all of it, we produce around 50 books per year, all year. is what Penguin produces in an hour. Penguin Publishers, our role model. They produce what we produce in a year in an hour. So when they mentor us, already like when we started getting mentored, we were producing, last year we were producing 8 books a year. I don't even know if that's true, I don't know what the number is. Because we saw how do they use speed, what are the systems, and now we're already at 50 books per year. So make sure that people whose floor, that's your ceiling. You dream of it. And LinkedIn them, Instagram DM, find them, get them to give you 1 hour a year. 1 hour a year, 1 hour in 6 months, I don't know. That would be my advice, yeah.
Well, okay, they both had very good advice. My advice is much simpler. In my entrepreneurship journey, there have been a lot of points where I was so ready to give up, so ready, and I was like, why am I, I wasn't born to be stressed like this, right? My blood pressure is going up. It's not healthy to be, we're too young to be stressed like this. And there was a lot of time crying. I'm a very sensitive person. Somebody says no to me, I'm like, well, how come? Why not? I take it so personally. And there will be a lot of times where I'm crying and I call people on the phone and I'm like, guys, no, what am I supposed to do? But there's a quote that I really like, and it says that the process might be slow, but quitting won't make the process faster. And so it's just about staying in it and persevering and just sleep, and tomorrow you're gonna wake up with the energy to fight again. So just if you have a passion for something, if you believe in something, it's gonna get so difficult. There are points where you want to give up, but I implore you to keep on going.
Thank you for your questions. About the quality of our products, we use normal leather, like pure leather. So you understand, if you know the leather, pure leather, you understand the quality. So, and also before you bring the products to the market, so we make a trial. So I myself can wear them, and some of our brothers can wear them just to see the quality, how is it, how is the finishing. So we decided to put it on the market before we normally we sell on our social medias and website. So we just put it in the store, just see the feedback, not just for sale. Just put it there, then see other people give you the feedback on it. So before putting out to the market. So the second question was being updated with other brands. So for me, I'm a youth, of course, so I'm always like everywhere on social media, so that. So you see everything, you see how you update, how the shoe making industry is growing. So we learn from different people, but not from here, because some are people within the country, they are not on the same level accordingly. So we learn from other social medias, we learn from Italy people, from Italy how they do their things. So yet they're a bit challenging to bring to the Rwandan community because of their machinery, their advanced, their type of leather they use. So it's somehow different to what we can assess for us. Also about designing and innovation. For innovations, I have a team. I and my young brother. So we sit down and we look for what we can do which is different from what others do. I believe this one, mostly cannot get these shoes anywhere. We blend them, we do designing on it, so you can even customize your own way. You can have an idea of what type of shoes you want, so you can customize it. You can write a name on it, you can write like a logo on it. We do also, through the customization, also make the bags for other businesses. Also work with the banks. You can blend with their logos. they have a design, they have the idea of the bag they want. So we sit down and be like, okay, let's change this. So that's how we come up with the innovation. Yep.
And that's a very good question. Now, I don't know. Who knows? You know what I mean? I think I'm very grateful that we had the heart to listen, because it was hurtful when the kids were trashing the books and telling us, kids, 6 to 8 years old, they will tell you the truth in very hurtful ways, So I'm really grateful that in that moment we had the humility to then have a meeting with the team, because I think we came into the room thinking that we had the solution. And I think the moderator, Liana, had a similar thing, like, even this whole event is for us, with us. We did not include the kids that we were serving at all. And we just said we have a solution and we bring a solution. And I think that's what happened to the youth as well. They tell us, come do this thing. So when we had the humility, they had, we observed them, we had them for like 6 months, and they really didn't like the books. Even when we were giving them the Parents Mutuelle de Santé, we had prizes, we would give a kid that reads 10 books would get a pair of shoes, a kid that reads 5 books would get like toothbrush and toothpaste, and maybe like a shirt. Like, we had kind of different tiers to encourage them. But they kept saying, we don't look like this. Like, what are these things? Like, in Baby Fuga, like, why is a rat talking? Or why is, what is, because we were so far away, it's almost like we go to the village right now and we tell people, hey, ChatGPT, it's so far away, right? So we had to come back. But I'm very grateful that we listened. We humbled ourselves and we said, they have a point, because they did. If we didn't listen, we would probably keep forcing them to read these foreign books, the Cinderellas and the Captain America, and I think we would have been also harming them, because if they come and tell us people who look like this can be princesses, and those are the only books we're giving them, we are making them believe that only people who look like this can be, superheroes. So I'm very grateful that we listened. I'm very grateful that we listened.
There's, like I said before, and I've been highlighting throughout my answers, is that entrepreneurship, although very fulfilling, is very difficult. And that's something that I feel, probably by you asking that question, you feel as well. We're just saying, you hear a lot of people talking about the good things that come with entrepreneurship, and there are plenty of good things that come with it, but doubling down on what I mentioned previously is when, for me at least, the most difficult thing for me is when people don't believe in me. And when you believe in your idea so much and you get faced with rejection, and this idea is basically your baby, this is something that you've been developing for so long, you put so many hours and so much care and so much time and work into, and you face rejection, it's a very painful thing. And you may not cry real tears, as I do, I'm not gonna lie. You may not cry real tears, but it's a very painful thing. And it's unlike any other feeling. It's not like somebody is telling you, I don't like your hair, or I don't like, it's not that type of rejection. It's a very unique type of rejection. And I don't have a child, but for me, it's like somebody's telling me something negative about a child of mine. I can only imagine as a mother, if somebody's a mother, how that would feel. That's basically the closest thing I can describe it to. It's a very personal, you take it so personally, and you're like, Gute, how do you not see what I'm seeing? So, it's a very painful thing, but like I said before, the people who don't believe in you are not. Rejection is redirection to someone else. So if you're rejected now, just know it's because you're being redirected to a better opportunity that is more suited for you.
I personally cry a lot in this entrepreneurship journey. I used to cry maybe like once a week. Now it's once every 2 months, right? Hey, but this last week we've cried. Right? Last week I cried. You know it. It's real things that might happen to you if you're considering entrepreneurship. Crazy clients, you know? Crazy clients. Hey, you really give them, this is the water, this is the color, and they just say no. And there's nothing that you will do about it. They will hate you. And they will go and post on Twitter that no matter what you did, you wanted to say Inyanje on the white, you did it, you said what? Clear water. They will say, Ayamazi, it was great, it was what? It was what? This will happen to you, crazy clients will happen to you. Number 2, crazy team members, crazy employees. Me, I've had people, real human beings, who said, I don't understand why you get paid more than me when I'm a man. Real thing, right? And by the way, at the time, it was 2016, I was very dumb, so I actually paid them more than me. Yeah, I've grown since, I've grown. So that can happen, crazy team member. Number 3, just life, right? COVID hit us, we didn't know where rent was coming. You're not paying rent when you're not working, when the whole country is in lockdown, and your landlord says, no, right? That is a real thing that might happen. Last week, our Instagram account was suspended at 13,000 followers. Done, bah, disappeared. You know, and we were talking about the MasterCard Foundation. We were really hyping it up because internally we want MasterCard Foundation to love us so they can work with us again. Completely disappear. The page, they lock us out, they tell us you are suspended. Randomly. Thank God it was restored 7 days later. But at the moment, it felt horrible, right? We've dealt with racism. Clients who say, oh, talk to the intern, you know? And your whole team is minimized to talking to an intern who won't understand. Just because they're coming from Belgium or Italy, you see? And you are told you can't reach anyone else, right? We've dealt with racism, we've dealt with crazy clients, we've dealt with landlords who have no empathy, we've dealt with staff members who have no empathy, we've dealt with all of. I deal, maybe less now, but I used to deal like Egokoman and rent salaries. What am I going to pay my team at the end of the month? So those are real things that will 100% happen to you, but I always say personally, give chance a chance. I don't know, there's a force in the universe, God, wherever, when you took a step, when you try something, by the way, if I don't talk about the tears, you know, I always call my mom, I tell Mom, can I come, where are you? She says, I'm in Chimirong. Stop whatever you're doing, I'm coming to cry. And thank God we have support. But one thing I will say is, I don't know how I ended up on this panel. It was because maybe there was a meeting and someone saw something. Give chance a chance. There are forces, there are people talking in tables that you are not in, and they're talking about you. And they're saying, how can we help Dominique? How can we help Imagine We, Afrolago, Cheyenne, Shey Move, Glowford? How can we? You don't know where Harahan, there's people talking about you, wanting to help you wherever you're not. As we see the challenges, but keep planting those seeds. This is not me being motivational. You will cry. You will lose weight. Look at me. Do you think Kagame does not want to gain weight? Our president, I understand. Manan, I understand. But you think he doesn't want to gain weight? Do you think me, I don't want to gain weight and shake my ass on a yacht? You see? But you will face challenges, you will cry, but there are rooms where people will talk about you, where people will encourage you, empower you, lift you up. And you give that chance. If that is a 1% possibility, give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance. Just think about that. Don't mind those things. You will cry once, you know, it's moisturizer. Tears really hydrate the skin, you know? Try it, try it. it's good. It's good. It's good stuff.
For me, it's quite different. The tears I had it when I started. Normally, we have different friends. Like when we start, we are supposed to, they're first clients. So unfortunately, it is kind of different. Like when you are living with the people, when you are working with the people, those are the people you're on the same level. When you try something else, you're out of that community of them. So I expect them to support me, and I made these shoes. Can you please, post it on your Instagram, your WhatsApp? He acts like a celebrity, like doing that. And furthermore, for that, even when, for example, if I open like a shop, I sell milk, my friend be like, okay, I get the place where I be getting a free milk, I'm like, he do consider like everything you invest in it, there's no support. Even invite the friends, like there's a discount. I have a friend of mine who owns this, you can't give us discounts. In terms of me investing, I'm getting lows. So for your clients, you think that you're helping me, but you're not. Because if I give you the price, it's like, no man, which is quite something big. So the support I get from where the people randomly, I don't even know, like they come, they like my products. Like, okay, there's opportunity there, you can go there. So that was really hard.
So thank you to everyone who asked the question. I have a few more questions before we move on to the next thing. First of all, it was, I think, last week, 16th of May and 17th of May, we were in this event where a young person was speaking about how hard it is to start a business, all of that and that. And then this young lady said that one of the challenges that she has faced ever since she launched her business is about turning pumpkin seeds. She has into cakes, pastries, and all of that. So she said something that I feel like a lot of young people can relate to. She did not have money to start. Donc, the first cake that she baked from the pumpkin seed, her parents gave her 3K, 3K to go to the bakery, because it was a neighborhood bakery. They told her, go ask Kanaka to help you, and we'll see how that is. So that's what she did. But then after that, she didn't have more money to make more cakes. So what she did was she approached Rwanda. Rwanda is like an accelerator, an incubator for young people. They support entrepreneurs, but those people don't give you the money that could sustain your business long term. So she was basically saying approaching financial institutions was also very difficult because they ask you for collateral. And she said, I'm a young person, I'm in my 20s, my parents are normal parents, so how can you be asking me for collateral that I don't even have? I'm 20, I don't have collateral, I don't have a house, I don't have land, I don't have anything. So why are you asking me for collateral? So the reason why I'm saying this story is because, like Ella said, we have to make things realistic. So how did you guys start, Because when you're talking about how you built Imagine Me, how you built Afrolago, you had to have something, or you had to have ways to get started. So how can you tell these people, how should they get started? What strategies should they use? Because if they go to the banks will ask them for their mitungos and their heritages and the whatever. Not everybody can get into incubators, accelerators, competitions. Some can get those opportunities, but some cannot. So how would you advise somebody to start?
So for this question, I answer this way, but I did something before I started business. Normally, there's some business you can do without having money. That's only one commissioner. So I used to do that before. I used to sell shoes. I didn't have any shop. I just go deal with some shop, and I go in and be like, okay, if I get clients, I get this percentage. So when I get a client, I move to the store, then I pretend to be my own store. And he moves out and I start to do the things. The other ways you can get money is through your family, playing it. But they have to believe your idea first of all. So do you believe in yourself? So first of all, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your idea so they can believe it and work. Even your discipline also counts here for someone to give you free money. So normally he has to know you, how is it in your life, how do you take things seriously. So going to the banks is kind of hard. I had a loan last year, so it wasn't that easy. So they gave me like 15 years, then I was having this kind of orders, big tiraka, then I have to do it, but they asked for collateral, which my mom lent me her house because she believed in me. So you got to have people who does believe in you, then that's all.
So the way I was able to fund my first product launch, before that I was obviously just doing products for myself and my family, so it was very small scale, it didn't need a lot of money at all. But when I wanted to do my first product launch, I asked my parents for a loan. And it was a loan of, I think I asked them for like 300,000. No. Yeah. I said, for what? I said, you have to be a so we're not giving that to you. Okay, 150. They're not gonna get it. They refused. They refused because they weren't understanding what it was for. They weren't understanding. Unfortunately, at that point, they didn't believe in it. So at that time, I was getting like an allowance from my parents, and I said, okay, if they're gonna give me 100,000 every month, but put a whole like 30, you should hand to the side, 30. After like 6 months, I was like, okay, I have like 150. And my cousin, her name is Karen Bijingo, she's also an entrepreneur. She was the main person who believed in Flow Force. And she was young. I can't talk about it too much, I'll get emotional, but Karen was Karen was really important when it came to Flow Force. She encouraged, she was like the only person who believed in it. And at the time she was an entrepreneur, so any problem I had, I called her. And I remember even when I was trying to like price my products or whatever, I was like, okay, should I charge like this amount? And she was like, Shan, are you stupid? No. You spend all night doing this midnight. Your parents are complaining you're in the kitchen, and you have to, that is labor that you also have to pay for. Yes. So she advised me on so much. And so when I had that 150 going back, when I had saved after I don't know how many months, I had 150,000, I was like, I told Karen, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take like a year for me to get this 300,000. She was like, you have 150, I'll give you 150. And at this point, it's not like she had so many means to do this. For her, 150,000 was a significant amount of money for her. But she believed in me so much, she was like, I'm gonna give you this, and I believe it will work. And after the first product launch, I told her, obviously, I'm like, Karen, this is not, I'm gonna pay you back, right? And the day of the product launch, we launched at like 10 a.m. That evening at 5 p.m., I sent her back that money. And she was like, you see, I knew I love Karen so much. But yeah, so having people that support you who are able to lend you that money, that is I'm very fortunate to have someone, but I know there are a lot of people who that is not the case. And luckily there are a lot of grants that are available, difficult to get, time consuming to apply for, but if you're somebody who is determined and your product is good and you can find somebody that believes in you, then you can be able to get grants as well.
Me, I started by selling my voice. You know, I can read the news and talk about it, blah, 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 blah. So it was free. I found a friend of mine. Usually, by the way, guys, even in this room there's gold. There's a gold mine. There's someone, you know, who knows? You can tell. Very realistic, by the way. You say, I have a plan, like Cheyenne said, I have 6 months. I want to have saved this much money. You can say to Afrolago, hey, I have nice toes. Toes, okay? Can I be a model for some of your shoes for 20K, 30K, 50K, whatever, for a month, for a year, for whatever. That's already money. Me, I've met my friend. He had a camera. He was doing, his name is Dolph Banta. He was doing documentaries. And hey, I saw him struggling. It was back in 2013, 2014, struggling to find people who read fast and read courage, humility, adventure, initiative, resilience. Good. And he would tell me, this is a 3-minute video, can you narrate it? And I would say, can I narrate it? And you give me, he had a house that he had transformed into an office, and one of the rooms was storage. I told him, can I clear that room? In exchange, I will do all your documentaries for free. But I want that as my office. And that was 4 months. 4 months. That was how we got the bills paid. And you know, he covered when his team was eating lunch, my Katu people also ate lunch, Rampi, man, away. So that was number one. So for me, realistically, look at what you have, which I know you have. Some people have fearlessness. You say, look, Nicola is right here. You say, the next event of youth, can I moderate for 150K? And you have to have a certain amount of boldness to actually achieve these things. You have nice toes. Afrolago is here. Uzuri is here. Shoot your shot. By the way, Abanyarwanda, Rwandans, we are like this. Shoot your shot right on LinkedIn. Take pictures of your feet, of your hands, and say, look, me, there's no one in this Kigali who has feet like me. Can I be your model for next month? Men, women, same. By the way, people are making millions in this Africa with their hands. Taking a bottle like this. So ask yourself, calm down, ask yourself realistically, what do I have? Maybe you have writing skills. You can shoot your shot on LinkedIn and say, hey, ALU, can I run your social media? Let them say no. The Rwandan proverb says, no kiime ukwimahari. Right? Period. Don't say no to yourself when there's someone who will say no to you. So look at what you have. What do you have? Those small things that cost you nothing, that you just have. And then start monetizing it. There's social media. You have social media, you can, I don't know, you can MC, you can do whatever you can do. I can't know, but have a plan. This is for 6 months, so I raise this much. And then the second thing is build credibility. Sometimes we worry, we think credibility has to come from expertise. Expertise takes time, yeah? But credibility can also come from passion, yeah? It doesn't have to come from expertise all the time. I started just passionate about the African story. Oh, I was passionate, I want Kirikou, Nebeti, you know, I started listening to only African music, only African cartoons, African movies. That was me. I started, my original post on social media was I'm passionate, I'm passionate, I'm passionate. And then someone like Kola would be like, oh, we have a young woman who's passionate. Eventually you will move from passion only to expertise. Now you can sit on research papers, talk to university, but you start from passion. She could be passionate. Black people don't have products for their hair, for their skin. Passion, passion. And then she moves from expertise. How can you monetize your passion? Effectively, you know? And the rest is just be bold. You know, Tinuka. You know, me, I see, this is the last thing I'll say, I'm sorry. I've worked with interns from the US. Interns from the US, very white, blonde hair, blue eyes. They go to the minister in Rwanda, they knock, they say, I deserve to sit with you. 17, 18, 20 years, they just somehow through colonization, but they just feel like I deserve to be here. And then me, I told myself, if I can have the confidence of a white, tall man, I will succeed. So just have confidence. Tell Nicola will not say no. If you go to his LinkedIn and say, hey, can you mentor me? You write to whoever, they will have time. And make sure you have the skill of follow-up. You wrote to him in January, you say, you know what, he didn't respond, but let me come back in March. Let me come back. And then one day he'll be like, Aliko Kano Kana, this kid has written to me, let me see what she has. And come prepared. Don't come and be like, you have a nice shirt. Come with your whole plan. Yeah? And that's how you move the needle to help you build your life. Be excellent and take these real steps forward. Shoot your shot as well. I shot my shot to Ellen DeGeneres. They said yes. And I was also like, wait, what? And we shot our shot to Mastercard Foundation. And then they said yes. If you're Rwandan, understand this sentence, tattoo it to your body. Yeah?
Thank you so much, Dominique, and thank you to all of you for participating on this panel and for inspiring our audience.